The chapter name is Environment and Health, and the topic name is Solid Waste Disposal. Solid waste disposal. The term solid waste include garbage, rubbish, paper, plastic, wood, metal, throwaway containers, glass, demolition products that include bricks, masonry, pipes, sewage treatment residue that includes sludge, etc., dead animals, manure, and discarded material. It means all these compounds, all these substances are come under solid waste. Strictly speaking, it should not contain night soil. The output of daily waste depends upon the dietary habits, lifestyles, living standards, degree of urbanization, and industrialization. Solid waste, if allowed to accumulate, is the health hazard because it decomposes and favors fly breeding. It attracts rodents and vermins. The pathogens which may be present in the solid waste may be conveyed back to man's food through flies and dust. There is a possibility of water and soil pollution, and heaps of refuse presents an unsightly appearance and nuisance from bad odors. Now, there are five types of waste. Number one, industrial waste. Number two, agricultural waste. Number three, hazardous waste. Number four, medical waste. Number five, radioactive waste. Sources of refuse. First, street refuse. It consists of leaves, straw, paper, animal droppings, and litter of all kinds. Number two, market refuse. It contains a large proportion of putrid vegetables and animal matter. Number three, stable litter. It contains mainly animal droppings and leftover animal feeds. Number four, industrial refuse comprises a wide variety of waste ranging from completely inert materials such as calcium carbonate to highly toxic and explosive compounds. Number five, the domestic refuse consists of ash, rubbish, and garbage. Methods of disposal. There is no single method of refuse disposal which is equally suitable in all circumstances. The principal methods of refuse disposal are A. Dumping, B. Controlled tipping and sanitary landfill, C. Incineration, D. Compositing, E. Manure pits, F. Burials. First, dumping. Refuse is dumped in low-lying areas partially as a method of reclamation of land but mainly as an assay method of disposal of dry refuse. As a result of bacterial action, refuse decreases considerably in volume and is converted gradually into humus. Drawbacks of open dumping. A. Refuse is exposed to flies and rodents. B. Source of nuisance from smell and unsightly appearance. C. Loose refuse is dispersed by action of wind. D. Drainage from dumps contributes to the pollution of source and groundwater. Next is controlled tipping. Controlled tipping or sanitary landfill is the most satisfactory method of refuse disposal where suitable land is available. It differs from ordinary dumping in that the material is placed in a trench or other prepared areas, adequately compacted and covered with earth at the end of the working day. The term modified sanitary landfill has been applied to those operations where compaction and covering are accomplished once or twice a week. Next is incineration. Refuse can be disposed of hygienically by burning or incineration. It is the method of choice where suitable land is not available. Hospital refuse, which is particularly dangerous, is best disposed of by incineration. It is practiced in several of countries, particularly in large cities due to lack of suitable land. It is not a popular method in India. Next is compositing. It is the method of combined disposal of refuse and night soil or sludge. It is a process of nature whereby organic matter breaks down under the bacterial action, resulting in the formation of relatively stable humus-like material called compost. The principal byproducts which are formed during compositing are carbon dioxide, water, and heat. The end product compost contains few or no disease producing organisms and is a good soil builder containing small amount of the major plants nutrients such as nitrates and phosphates. Next is manure pits. The problem of refuse disposal in rural areas can be solved by digging manure pits by the individual householders. The garbage, kettle dung, straw, leaves should be dumped into the manure pits and covered with the earth after each day's dumping. Two such pits will be needed when one is closed, the other will be in use. In 5 to 6 months' time, the refuse is converted into manure which can be returned to the field. This method of refuse disposal is effective and relatively simple in rural communities. Next is burials. This method is stable for small camps. A trench 1.5-meter wide and 2-meter deep is excavated, and at the end of each day the refuse is covered with 20 to 30 centimeter of earth. When the level in the trench is 40 centimeter from the ground level, the trench is filled with earth and compacted and a new trench is dragged out. The content may be taken out after 4 to 6 months and used on the fields. If the trench is 1 meter in length, for every 200 persons, it will be filled in about a 1 week. Next topic is public education. Refuse disposal cannot be solved without public education. People have very little interest in cleanliness outside their homes. Many municipalities and corporations usually look for the cheapest solutions, especially in regard to refuse disposal. What is needed is public education by all known methods of health education, that are pamphlets, newspapers, broadcasting, films, etc. Police enforcement of the laws may also be needed.